Now for global business updates, Rotus Oddiri joins us. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rifai. Good morning to all our viewers. Let's get through to oil prices. Not much to report there, except that West Texas Intermediate has now risen up to $70. Brent crude climbing slightly to 73. Oil is still range-bound in the 70 region. Let's go to Asian markets. Taiwan was open yesterday. They're closed today. Mainland China closed. Korea closed. Japan was closed yesterday. They're back today, dropping by over 1%. Hong Kong is up. The Nifty in India is up. S&P ASX 200 in Australia, that's up as well. Let's get to the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen is eating its protein, avoiding alcohol and soft drinks and junk food, and it's going to the gym really hard. 139.50 to the US dollar, appreciating by 13.5% since mid-July of this year. The Japanese yen is one of the best performing currencies in developed markets. Why? Because of the rate hikes that have made Japanese securities more attractive, also increasing demand for it. And also we're expected to get a rate cut from the US tomorrow and a hold from the Bank of Japan. So that means that you could get more capital flows there. Let's get to Geneva and talk about the World Trade Organization. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, we got an emailed statement yesterday from the WTO confirming that she will indeed seek a second term. She's the first woman, of course, to hold the position of Director General, came into office in March of 2021. Her term will end in August of 2015. Let's get to Microsoft, the most valuable company, well, second most valuable company in the world, 3.2 trillion. We previewed this yesterday. Microsoft has now released more features from Copilot, which is its AI assistant that comes now with Windows 365. Here's the CEO, Satya Nadella.
You can think of Copilot as the UI for AI. It helps you break down the silos between your work artifacts, your communications, and your business processes. And we're just getting started. In fact, with scaling laws, as AI becomes more capable and even agentic, the models themselves become more of a commodity, and all the value gets created by how you steer, ground, fine-tune these models with your business data and workflow. And how it composes with the UI layer of human to AI to human interaction becomes critical.
There's also, this is probably my favorite story of the day. You're going to see a demonstration using Python. Python is a programming language for data analytics. And what they have done at Microsoft is to fuse Copilot with Python to where you don't have to manually code anymore. Python, in this demonstration, is going to give a 3-year forecast into the future of sales revenue for a company. Take a look.
You can think of Copilot as the UI for AI. It helps you break down the silos between your work artifacts, your communications, and your business processes. And we're just getting started. In fact, with scaling laws, as AI becomes more capable and even agentic, the models themselves become more of a commodity, and all the value gets created by how you steer, ground, fine-tune these models with your business data and workflow. And how it composes with the UI layer of human to AI to human interaction becomes critical.
So that's obviously not the clip that we're supposed to play. It's supposed to be that's Satya Nadella coming up a second time. But don't worry about it. Let's just move on. Going to inflation in Nigeria, we've had a deceleration now 2 consecutive months. If you take a look at year-on-year inflation in Nigeria, the headline 32.15 from 33.4. You see food inflation 37.52 from 39.5, and core actually did rise. Same thing if you jump to month on month, you're seeing a deceleration across the board. Now, it doesn't mean prices are coming down. What it means is that the rates at which prices are rising is slowing. So this is 2 consecutive months now of deceleration. You take a look at the 2 charts. You should have a year-on-year chart and a month-on-month chart. What we've done was to show you with arrows where in 2023 you had the devaluation of the currency and then the first partial removal of fuel subsidies. And for year-on-year, you can see the rise. It's actually more pronounced on a month-on-month basis. The question now is, with the inflation rising, what does the Monetary Policy Committee do next week when they meet? I think they will either hike or hold, because here's the thing. Fuel prices were increased, upwardly reviewed Tuesday last week, September the 10th. we will likely see an increase in inflation as a result of that because of the pass-through effect. You heard Adefemi Akinsanya in her update talking about how I think it was INEC in Edo State has to revise cost of operations because of the increase in fuel. So that is likely to move. So the question for the Monetary Policy Committee is this: what do you do? Do you hold rates because you've seen a continued deceleration in inflation, or do you hike in order to head off what is likely to be another rise in September and then a continued move on the deceleration path? So for the Bank of Japan, for Nigeria, it is either a hold or a hike. There's no cutting of rates that's happening there. You already talked about Ipman. This really interesting quotes from the head of welfare at Ipman. I think it was on television saying if NNPC can sell Dangote products higher than the imported product, it doesn't make sense. What is the celebration we're having? It's a very bizarre comment coming from a marketer that's supposed to be a player in this sector. If Ipman, we know the reason why the NNPC is the sole importer of fuel. It is because of the foreign exchange dynamic. If Ipman and other marketers were allowed to source for foreign exchange and bring in fuel into this country, they know very well that the prices would be much, much higher. That is our update for today.
And you see, that's the confusion that continues in our lives, that we don't even know what is going on, Rotus. Today, from the Dangote end, we don't know how much is sold to NNPC. NNPC has given us a price. Dangote has not given us a price at which they sold to them. We don't know if it's completely lifted. Ayo was saying she bought at 8 something yesterday. If NNPC said the price is going to take effect by 9.50, then why is that not taking effect? We don't know. NNPC released another pricing template yesterday, so we don't know what is going on, different from the first one they released in the first place, so we don't know what's going on. Then Ipman is now talking as we speak today and saying what they're importing is way cheaper. Is it the same dirty oil that we normally complain about before, you know, with a lot of impurities and all of that in it, compared to this one that they say is Euro, whatever, Euro 5 or Euro 4, or very Euro 5 clean standard of oil? Is that the one we are comparing it with? So there are a lot of, like Donald Rumsfeld will normally say, there are a lot of unknown. And also, this inflation that is coming down because we're harvest season. The question is, when harvest season is over, are we going to be able to sustain the dynamics? If this energy price now goes up again, is it going to feed into the inflation numbers? And is this going to be time for them to lower this increase of interest rate that is also stifling the economy, because businesses can't lend because of the increase in interest rate? So there are a lot of dynamics that we don't really understand as is going on now. And as the head of Mr. Farouk, head of NNDPA or something, come out to say that Dangote oil is clean now.
All right. Rotus, I'll certainly be speaking about...
Sorry, one quick second. Just sorry, apologies. Okay. Just a couple of things to address. The template that was released, we went through it. There's no difference in the final price. It was just, there were 4 fees in the first template. That's been reduced to 3. Go back to Zacchaeus Adedeji, head of FIRS, the announcement he made over the last weekend, saying that certain fees will be moved aside. So when you look at the final price, that price is there. And also, I know you said you bought fuel at this price. Everybody's saying I bought at this price. You saw Tokunbo Yetunji's report this morning. More trucks are going to lift. What does that mean? That is more supply. So we can either have a debate about what the price is or whether there are no more queues and we're getting supply, which I think is the main thrust of the issue here. We don't want many more queues.
Rotus, it depends. I think you should ask.
Price is the main thrust of the issue. I think you should let people speak for themselves.
It's not just
what do you
like
mean
I
by
said.
that?
What's the point of having supply and people cannot afford?
Queues? You want fuel queues?
No, but either way. So do you want people not to be able to afford? No, but do you want people not to be able to afford fuel? Well,
Okay,
if you have
if
you have a product that people cannot afford, it doesn't make any sense. It's not either or the other. Both of them have to be.
So who is selling the product, Ayo?
Yeah, anyways, I'm just saying that.
Who is selling the product? It's a business, right? Or a charity?
This is not against Dangote Refinery or anything. I'm just saying the fact that you cannot say that it's just about supply. Supply is good. That's a narrative. But you have to talk about price.
No, this is coming from Dangote Refinery.
Yes, anyways.
Ayo, let's not mislead people.
It
is coming from Dangote Refinery, a private sector player
I am just speaking
in the downstream
to your point
sector.
About price and availability. That price is just as important as availability for the Nigerian people. That's all I'm saying. All right, let me quickly go to DG of WTO.
So are the costs. So are the costs that go into the price. There's a cost, right?
Director General of World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Very proud. Of course, I'm going to speak about that this morning. November should have been her deadline as to whether or not she would indicate her interest to run again for a second term. It was a one-term, 4 years as DG of WTO, which ends in August 2025, like you said. And, you know, there are things around the fact that maybe she's putting the hat in the ring early enough because of the U.S. elections, even though she said that she doesn't have any control over that. But recall that in 2020, the Trump administration did not back her candidacy and was only backed after Biden came into power. So it's 50-50. If Trump goes ahead to win in November, it might affect her chances. So that's really great to see her coming out really early to say that she's going to run. Now, this would also determine a few things if other people throw their hats in the ring as well, or if she's going to run unopposed, and then makes it a bit easier if all the states back her. But very importantly, it's not just because she's going to stand for a second term, it's the achievements she's made. And we're really proud of the work that she's done so far with WTO. She's made some landmark deals, the cuts in fishing deals, global trade deals, and a number of things that she has done. And she says she wants to work, continue the good work that she has started in her second term. Of course, Nigeria will be backing her and hoping that other nations would see the great work she's done so far. Not just first female, first African to hold that position, and hoping that she's able to secure that second term. Congratulations in advance, Madam DG.
Okay, I'm interested in other stories. But first, let me start with, your report that the National Bureau of Statistics of Nigeria says inflation has gone down. And that, from your own deductions, that the Monetary Policy Committee is not likely to hike rates. It's likely to take a more accommodative stance in the next MPC meeting. Yes, economists bandy these figures around. But what is the effect in the market? If inflation has gone down, that's CPI, okay, do we see it in the market? The received wisdom is that in Nigeria, when things go up, they don't come down. And that's why prices keep skyrocketing. That's that about that. Second story that I'm interested in is that tomorrow we will hear from the Federal Reserve in the United States. The expectation is that there will be, about 25 basis points reduction in interest rate. The tech industry will do well. Other industries, other sectors will do well because, that's the expectation. But what will follow after the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates? Well, people say 25 basis points. Some people say 50 basis points. Apple iPhone that you have talked about on this program. Well, Apple iPhone is not doing well. The Pro Max, and the other one, there's been a drop in the share price of Apple by about 2.8% on Monday. So it looks like Huawei is far ahead. Huawei that already has proud subscription of over 30 million. And then the other story that I find interesting is Rupert Murdoch and 3 of his children are going to court over a family trust that he established in 1999, over who should take major control of Fox News and Rupert Murdoch's empire when he dies. He says he prefers Lachlan, the first son, but the other 3 children are fighting. And then you also have 2 other children from his 4th wife who are all looking at the media empire established by Rupert Murdoch. So these are the stories that I find interesting, plus amazing, saying people now must come to work 5 days a week, not 3 days. Thank you very much, Rotus.